Hey, what's up everyone, TJ here. In this video, I'm reviewing a new board of the family tree lineup. It's the Burton Alekesam in collaboration with Snowboard Magazine. Let's get into it. Alright guys, the Alekesam is a surf-inspired shape that's brought to life by the legend Selema Masekela. And fun fact, Alekesam is Masekela backwards, which is also Selema's stage name for his music. If you're unfamiliar, very vibey, go check it out. And for your reference, I'm 5'10", I weigh 155 pounds, and I tested this board in size 152. And it's offered in a huge variety of sizes, all the way down to 140 up to 160. So it's a very accessible snowboard. And I would say that this is like an all-mountain capable powder snowboard. It does have a directional design to it. First thing you're going to notice is this very directional outline with noticeably more nose up front and this kind of notched in tail on the back of the board here. You're also going to find 15 millimeters of taper, so that tail's a little bit narrower than the front of the snowboard, as well as a hefty 50 millimeter setback at the reference stance, shifting you closer to the tail of the snowboard. So all of that is going to give this board much more surface area up front and enhance that powder experience. You're going to find a directional camber profile in the snowboard as well, but it is camber dominant. I like to call it a shifted camber. So from right around your front foot all the way back to the tail, you're going to get positive camber for some nice stability through the body of the snowboard and under your feet. But it does have a reverse camber blend going out into the nose of the snowboard. And one other thing I like about this profile that I think is worth noting is that since you have that camber underfoot, just simply by standing on the snowboard or weighting it, any situation like a powder landing for example, it's going to actually activate that rocker in the nose even more and amplify that benefit of the reverse camber. So that's pretty cool as well. You're going to get a lot of carbon fiber built into the layup of this snowboard as well. So you're going to have tip to tail carbon stringers running down the entire length of the snowboard, as well as 45-degree carbon fiber highlights built into the layup. So that's a nice lightweight additive that gives you more energy and snap out of the snowboard, as well as a triax fiberglass layup. So that's triaxial glass both above and below the core, 3 directions of fiberglass. It's going to make this thing much more responsive. Other than that, of course, you're going to find Burton's channel system. So that's going to give you unlimited stance width options and is compatible with most major bindings out there, as well as a sintered base. So that's a higher end dense base material that's tougher and faster versus an extruded base. As with any sintered base, you want to wax it regularly to maintain that optimal feel, but it is always great to see in these higher end snowboards. So that's it for a quick tech breakdown. Let's get into how this board feels out on the mountain. Alright guys, let's start off talking about the flex you're going to find in the Alekesam. So I am right in the middle of the weight range at size 152, and I found this board to be just a little on the stiffer side of medium. With the directional outline and the hefty setback, you do get more leverage in the nose of the snowboard, so it feels a little bit easier to flex up front and does give that tail a bit more of a more powerful feel. It is a little trickier to butter around on these more directional shapes, but I still had a lot of fun with it, feeling out the flex on this one, especially leaning into that large platform that the nose is going to give you. I take every board through the park as well, even the powder boards most of the time when I can, and the Alekesam is definitely in the realm of more novelty park laps. That's just not in the scope of what this board was designed to excel at. However, if you do find yourself in the park, it's kind of fun whipping this thing around on the jibs, especially at a shorter size like this. I had a pretty good time out at Mammoth ripping around in their medium park. The tubes felt all right, you can press it, and it does have a shorter tail which you can use to your advantage, but also can be a little bit limiting. It's fine on jumps and hips, but you definitely want to land with your weight centered because you just have such a short tail back there. And I always like to note that the longer nose you get on these directional boards can be a little weird at first in the park, but if you're feeling it, or you're just trying to get some pal park laps or whatever it is, go for it. I also want to talk about the carving experience you're going to get on the Alekesam. At size 152, you're going to get a 25.2 centimeter waist, so quick edge-to-edge transitions there, and a 7-meter side cut. So that's going to bring nimble, tighter carves to the table. I'd say the Alekesam is a little bit of a mellower board when it comes to carving and cruising. If you really start to push it, you're going to find a bit of chatter in the nose. Nothing crazy, but that long nose with the shifted camber does tend to flutter a little bit at higher speed, and it's not particularly wide either. So I think the sweet spot with this one is cruising at more moderate speed. I think that's where it feels the most at home. It's still a lot of fun for exploring and adventuring around the resort as well. It's going to be solid for getting in the trees and those lesser traveled zones, but it is a little bit mellower. Now, unfortunately, I've been unable to get this board out on a deep day, but I do plan to bring it with me to Japan this year. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to get a powder update once we get out there. But I think this board is going to be a lot of fun in deeper conditions. It is going to rely mainly on the shape and that setback for float since it's not super wide. But I think it's going to come through with almost like a fish-like feel, but with a little bit more stability. So I think it's going to be a pretty fun test out there. Overall, the Alekesam is a nice directional shape with some unique features and design decisions. It's got the versatility and stability to ride with a more exploratory approach confidently, and has the design to be a go-to choice as a powder board as well. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, consider the Burton family tree Alekesam. I'm gonna have this board linked down below the video so it's easy for you to find, as well as a link to the latest issue of Snowboard magazine. So please make sure to go check it out. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what you think about this board down in the comments. And if you got some value, please make sure to drop a like before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And I will see you guys in a new review soon. Later, y'all.